All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, we're going to talk about Bungie fixing one of their mistakes that they made throughout this season of The Chosen. That mistake being that the Season 13 calendar actually showed that the Proving Ground Strike was going to be available for all players, so it was going to be a part of the free-to-play experience. However, 2 weeks ago, if you logged in as a free-to-play player, you noticed that you were not allowed to play the strike. You are not allowed to partake in double loot drops, double palindrome loot drops the first time it ever came around. So it was one of the best opportunities to get the weapon with double loot drops. And then we found out on top of that, that if you actually wanted to unlock the Proving Ground Strike, you had to buy Beyond Light and the Season Pass. So this actually made it the most expensive strike in Destiny history, around $50 US just to play one single strike. And so naturally people were outraged, Reddit was outraged. I made a video covering this topic and a lot of people were talking about it. Fast forward 2 weeks from that moment till now, we see Bungie Help tweet out this just today, and this is the reason why the Proving Ground Strike was the Grandmaster today. It didn't make any sense. I woke up this morning, I was like, what the hell? Why is the Proving Grounds the Grandmaster again? Why is it the Nightfall exclusive strike when it was literally the Nightfall strike 2 weeks ago? And here's the reason why. We have made a change where access to the Proving Grounds Nightfall will now require either Beyond Light or the Season of the Chosen Season Pass. Players no longer need both to access the Nightfall. So a decent change in my opinion. Bungie low-key fixing the mistake a little bit. I mean, they did say that that strike would be available to all players, so it would be available to free-to-play players, and it's technically not, so they didn't entirely fix the issue. Let me know in the comment section below, do you think that Bungie should make the Proving Ground Strike available free-to-play for all players, or do you think that this fix right here is actually sufficient enough? I can't help but feel like this is a bit half-baked. I mean, the calendar said it's free to play for all players, and then it comes up and it's double loot drops, so essentially everyone is going to want to play that week. This is the first week of the palindrome, one of the most exciting weeks, and then everyone hits this brick wall. Either if you have the Season Pass only or if you have Beyond Light only, you still can't even play the strike. You have to spend $50, and now they bring it back 2 weeks later, but this week it's the auto rifle that drops. It's not double loot drops. I mean, that is kind of hilarious. Like, I feel like Bungie should be way more remorseful to how big of a fuck up this was. And at the very least, return the strike either in the way you're doing it or return it free to all players and give us double loot drops to make up for that giant blunder. Let me know in the comment section below how you feel about this decision, both from the side from their mistake and their attempt to fix the mistake, and how you feel about the end resolution. But there you have it. That was their big mistake. That's why the Nightfall was the same as it was 2 weeks ago. Some other news we want to cover on Bungie Help as well is this. This is especially important if you're a console player, especially on PlayStation 4. Bungie Help tweets out saying, with today's background maintenance, we are expanding SDR coverage to PlayStation consoles. As a result, players may encounter an increase in beaver errors. If you receive additional errors or connection issues, please post a report to the help forum. Now, if you don't know what this means or what they're talking about, basically what they're doing is they're transferring PlayStation and Xbox, now are already at this time, are going to be working through the Steam servers, so that way you can no longer get DDoSed when playing on console. If you don't know what DDoS is, essentially someone rips your IP address to your modem and they send a bunch of packets to you and it boots you out from the game. It's been a huge issue plaguing Destiny for years and years and years. The issue was fixed for us PC players when we migrated over to Steam, but it has continued to persist on console for way too long now. Bungie is finally nipping it in the butt. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this does fully and completely fix the issue. And one other important thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need to change your IP address moving forward. I heard from a source that these nasty DDoSing nerds, they keep everyone's name on a website, sort of like a catalog mixed with your username and your IP address. And so even though that now DDoSing is gone and they can no longer continue to rip your current IP address, if they had your IP address from before, they could continue to knock you offline if they match you inside any playlist. Trials, of course, is the biggest culprit of this, but they could do it anywhere. So make sure to get yourself a new IP address if you can. I know it's a bit of a tedious thing to have to go through. And trust me, I had to suffer through this for years and years and years, especially being a content creator and being well known within the community. Countless people targeted me and tried to DDoS me and hold me offline for just ridiculous amounts of time. And the only way to 100% for sure change your IP address is to actually switch out your internet modem. The best way to do that is to unplug your modem from the wall, take it to the nearest location center, whether you got Comcast or whatever it is, walk into the center, tell them that you need to do a modem swap. They'll give you a new modem, they'll take your old modem. It shouldn't cost you anything. It never costed me anything anyways. And then when you go home and plug in your modem, you'll have the same internet speeds as before. Everything will be exactly the same, except you will have a new IP address, and then these DDoSers won't be able to knock you offline anymore when you jump into trials or wherever. That's a wrap for this video though. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll be reading all the comments down below. Smash the like button if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.